Screensavers, our first guest tonight, operates vintage.org. It's an online warehouse of old, rare technology that can't be forgotten. We're so glad he's preserving it. And of course, they have regular fairs where people can see these in action. Today, he's brought something that is very important to all of us who use personal computers, the original Apple I computer. Welcome, Salam Ismail. I always get that wrong, Salam. Thank you for being here. It's great to have you back.
Thanks.
Last time we had so many things. I'm glad we could focus on one. This is so important. It's not the first personal computer. That's the MITS Altair.
Correct. Well, well, you can debate that too.
This was
anyway.
77?
76.
76. Woz was a member of the Homebrew Computer Club. By day, worked at HP, and they had this great deal where you could get parts from HP and build anything you want, and HP could either buy it or you could take it home with you, right?
Well, yeah, actually, Woz had to approach HP.
They had the right of first refusal.
Exactly, and they said, no, there's no future in personal computers.
No market for those things.
Not at all.
And thank goodness, because he built this. Now, then he sold it to members of the Homebrew Computer Club as a kit, right?
Well, actually, originally, Woz was just giving out plans.
Say, build it yourself.
Exactly. But if it wasn't for the vision of Jobs, who said, hey, this is something here that, you know, this is really something here, because there were certain features about this, including, you know, the fact that it was all in one and had the terminal, the display logic built onto the motherboard, and so it was Jobs' marketing vision that really, you know, was the push behind this. Actually,
how early? This is a kit. What's the genesis of this one?
Basically, I'm still doing research on it. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I believe that this might have been one of the first 50 that was sold from the Byte Shop. The Byte Shop was a computer store.
They were the first computer store.
Exactly, and
I
so
remember them very well.
I believe that they were, you know, the ones that made the first 50 board order that really.
So this was built by Apple.
Yeah, all the boards were manufactured by Apple.
And they had a wooden case?
Well, the case is actually aftermarket. It was made, the theory I'm going off of was that it was either the Byte Shop or whoever actually sold it.
Put it in.
Put the case together for, you know, as on order, basically.
It's a custom thing.
It's a custom case, because the only thing Apple sold was the motherboard and, of course, the cassette interface, which allowed you to save programs.
How much RAM did this thing have?
This is actually in an 8K configuration. You can get it in a 4K or 8K configuration. So here's all the memory right here.
That's what these little chips are, is memory chips.
So it's fully populated, so it's an 8K machine.
You can't add any either. There's no slots.
Well, you could hack memory onto it. Actually, there's a user port in the back, an expansion port.
Okay, we won't turn it around. I don't want to handle this too much. This is the processor here, a
6502 microprocessor.
6502, which was kind of a low power microprocessor. It was an interesting choice, let's put it that way.
It wasn't actually low power. I mean, there's still debates to this day about, you know, the 6502 versus the Z80 and things of that sort. But it was actually, some people consider it the first RISC processor, so it actually did have a...
It was simple.
Yeah.
And then this is the parallel port controller, is that what that is?
That's exactly what that is, yep.
Look how big that has to be. This is the, your partner Hans was showing me, this is kind of the most interesting thing in here. What are these chips?
Those are shift registers, and that's actually how the video display is you know, that's how the video is output to the video display.
That made it really unique, that they had it built in like that.
That they had the video circuitry on the board, correct, included, as opposed to having to have an add-on.
Now, it looks like some of this was either hacked after the fact, or do you think the Byte Shop did this?
No, this was probably the original owner did this. It's taking up some signal and bringing it out to the back to this port marked synchronization or sync.
So is that video out here?
I'm not sure, actually. I think it was just to maybe sync it up with some external thing that he was messing with.
Well, that's who bought these, though, was hackers. Well, exactly. I mean, if you bought this thing, you were buying a contract to mess around with it.
Well, actually, I mean, for what it is, it's actually in very original shape. This area up here was intended to be a user area where you added your own components.
They left it vacant with punch holes so that you could actually wire something in. This is obviously the power supply. Looks like an old doorbell power supply. It's pretty primitive. Look at the big capacitors on here. What's that for?
Well, that basically just filters the power that's coming in from the power supply to smooth it out so that it doesn't like overload the chips or anything like that when you turn it on.
Just amazing. What is this add-on card here?
This is the one and only option that Apple made. It's the cassette interface. So this allowed you to connect a cassette recorder to it so you can save and load programs.
No disk drives, obviously.
No
disk cassette was the only storage, no hard drive, no
At this point, yeah, disk drives were still kind of very expensive, very new, but yeah, it was right on the cusp of when disk drives started to become available for personal computers.
How did you come by this thing?
This actually is a computer that's currently for sale. It was...
You put it on eBay?
No. I put it on for sale on the Vintage Computer Festival.
Oh, you did? Oh,
we have our
okay,
own auctions.
Okay.
And so this was a seller. The current owner is basically the second owner. He bought it from the original owner at an Apple
kidding.
user group meeting in Santa Clara in 1981. Played with it a little bit, took it to Apple at one point to see if it could have disk drives added to it.
Right. They must have loved seeing this come in the door.
It was interesting, and they said, well, it would be feasible, but you know, it would require some work. So he took it home at that point, put it away, and this was the first time it's come out since then.
Your reserve on this was the highest bid you got was $12,000.
Highest bid was $12,000, and the reserve is $16,000. So it didn't sell.
So it didn't sell.
So as of now, it's still for sale.
But even, I mean, the amount of history. How many do you think are there of this in this quality?
Okay, there was 200 ever made.
Total.
Total.
This is not the Apple II, folks. This is the Apple I.
Exactly.
The Apple II was the one that kind of exploded.
That's the one that really launched the whole personal computer revolution. But there was 200 of these made. Of the 200, I'm estimating that probably less than 50 exist. And I have a personal catalog that I keep for my own research purposes. But what happened is, according to the people at Apple, and I've talked to Woz and Mike Scott, who was the original president, they had a deal where you can exchange 2 Apple I's for the new Apple II. And so
a lot of them came back in.
A lot of them came back.
Were they destroyed? What happened?
All but one were destroyed.
Oh.
And so that's why there's probably less than 50 of these.
That's what makes this so very rare.
Yeah.
We got these are copies of the
Well, yeah,
manuals.
these are reproductions. This is the user manual, and you can
with the original Apple logo. It's kind of fun to see that.
And actually, what's interesting is on the outside here, it has a really neat expression: "A mind forever voyaging through strange seas of thought alone."
And that's Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah, that's kind of things.
What a wonderful bit of history. People can learn more about it on your website. And what is the URL for that? Tell me again.
Vintage.org.
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 Easy to find.
And we have the next Vintage Computer Festival.
When's that coming up?
In Munich on May 3rd and 4th.
Oh, fun.
It's the European version of the Vintage Computer Festival.
All right. And of course, go to thescreensavers.com. We've got all that information and a lot more. Thank you for bringing this here, Slam. It's so great to see it. What a bit of history. This is really what started it all, I have to say. All right. Thank you very much. Good to see you again.
You too.